This is an exclusive excerpt from the Stuph File Program with Peter Anthony Holder.
On the line with us right now is the Emmy-winning actress Peggy McCay, who is best known since 1983 as Caroline Brady on Days of Our Lives. She is guesting on the CBS series Cold Case in an episode that airs on Sunday, February 21st. So she's a star of daytime and of nighttime, but she's taking the time to be on with us right now. Hi, Peggy. How are you?
I'm fine. In fact, I'm the only Academy member that they know of that has a daytime and nighttime nomination in the same year. It's just weird.
That's true, yeah.
I work both places.
And the one they actually gave you was the nighttime one, was it not?
Yes, the one I won was nighttime.
Well, so you managed to do both daytime and nighttime. So right off the bat, I'll ask about the differences. And the reason why I bring that up is I've always believed that daytime actors are some of the hardest working unsung actors that are out there because day in, day out, pages and pages of dialogue with no repeats. So you tell me what the difference is.
Well, it is the hardest. We do 80 pages of dialogue a day, and we have to finish it in that day. Now, I went to do Cold Case, and the whole show had 7 to 8 days or more to finish an hour. So you can see right then and there the difference, that everybody on a daytime show has to deliver in the same day, and that includes the actors, the directors, the wardrobe. I mean, everybody has to work at full speed in order to finish the 80 pages in a day. We don't carry them over to another day. We got to do it and finish it, or we sometimes do 3 or 4 shows at the same time, pieces of each, in order to get the work done. And I've done theater and film and nighttime, and it's the hardest work in the business. You really have to be willing to work very hard and be ready to go to work immediately on a daytime show. There's no, let's take that again and we'll try that again. There's no time for that.
I want to talk a little bit about about your work in daytime, but I have to bring up the Cold Case thing. I want to talk a little bit about that. You play the role of Zelda, Queen of the Knives?
Yes, that's right. I was delighted. It was such a change of pace for me. I loved it. And I'm surprised. I mean, I just went in there and I had a concept of her as a rather ballsy woman who certainly, if you are a circus performer and have survived, you have to be strong. I mean, there's no question that's one of the toughest lives in the world. They're touring, they tear the tent down, put it up, and go from one town to another. It's very competitive, and they all have to be extremely good at what they do. As this woman says, unfortunately, I lost my temper, so they usually throw knives, I did research, at their family or their husbands and wives because they don't want to, if anything goes wrong, it's better that way. So she says I've lost 3 out of my 4 divorces is due to my losing my temper while throwing a knife at my husband. So it's very colorful, and I love doing it. It's a wonderful character.
Now, as you said, it's a change of pace for you to a certain degree, and I'm just wondering, you played the role, as I said, of Caroline Brady on Days of Our Lives since '83. What's it like playing a
Caroline Brady.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's it like playing a long-running character on a show for so many years? Does it become almost second nature?
Well, in a way, the advantage to it is that you have a relationship with the other actors, a long-time relationship. So you can build a relationship, like between my son and myself. There's a certain way we talk to each other. And, my character relates to their character in a certain way. And after a certain period of time, my character's gotten to be a stronger character than it was. And I liked her in the beginning. She was rather a shady lady. She had an affair and never told anybody she had a son. And that gave her, something else going on. But they haven't gone back there to anything like that. But she's very much involved in her family. And actually, she's pretty much the mainstay of that family, The father's not around anymore, so.
After all these years in the role, how much of Peggy is in Caroline? How much of Caroline is in Peggy?
I think in the last, I'd say 4 or 5 years, more of Peggy is in Caroline than in the beginning. Definitely. I've made her much stronger and outspoken. And I think the writers like that because that's the way they write it.
Are there things, having played the character for so long, are there things that you bring to the character that when the writers say, we're planning to do this, this, and this, you can say, well, I don't think Caroline would do that?
Well, one of the things that the actors can bring is the continuity. Because in soaps, there's so much writing to be done. They change writers. I think they simply have to because they get written out. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how they do what they do. It's very difficult. So the actors are the ones that will remember exactly what happened because they played the scene. And sometimes that can get lost in what they call the Bible, the backstory of the soap opera. I mean, all new writers have to read it, but there's an awful lot of material. So quite often an actor will know better what happened before than the recent writer. And at that point, it's helpful to point out that didn't go that way; it went this way, and then that's it.
Your career goes back to the days of live television.
I know.
What was that like when everything was live?
I don't think that people could do it today. I mean, it was so crazy. I mean, it was live, and you would, an hour was an hour, and any mistakes, there wasn't any film or anything to correct it. It just went out over the air. And, corpses were seen to get up because they thought camera was off them, and all kinds of, the audience loved those mistakes, And actually it was like a marathon because you would have a scene and finish it, and then your next immediate scene would probably be at the very far end of the studio in another outfit. So while you're running to the next set, a dresser is taking clothes off and throwing it on, and you're running along side by side. And when you get to the entrance, you have to take a deep breath and not show that you've been running because you had been. And that's the way it went. I mean, it was very fast, and funny things happened. I had a funny thing happen it luckily didn't go on the air, with Roddy McDowell, who said to me, we're doing the heiress, the suitor who jolts this wealthy woman, and at the end she has a revenge. And the lines were, she wrote him a false check, and the lines were, he steps back, kisses her, and says, you look just like your father, who is a miserly, miserable man. And what happened in the dress rehearsal, Roddy decided to wear a mustache to make him look older, and a passage of time. And on the dress, when he stepped back, I saw that half of his mustache was gone. And he tried, and he kissed me, and he tried to deliver the line, you look like your father, but he couldn't because the other half of the mustache was on me. And if that would have been a classic, that was a dress rehearsal. If that had gone over the air, I mean, it would have been one of the great bloopers of all times. We just saved by the bell that time. It's so funny.
Flashing.
The crew was gone. I mean, everybody fell on the floor. It was just, there were all kinds of mistakes made, and it was very challenging. The thing is, you rehearsed, though, for 2 weeks, so that it was like a theater performance. It started and it never stopped, There are famous stories of some actor like Lon Chaney Jr., who for dress rehearsal was told, don't break the chair, just say chair, break, and go on. And so he was new to television, and when it came to the actual show, he didn't know it was the show. So he went into the scene and went, chair, break. He never broke the chairs. And that went out over the air. So
now,
it was a challenge.
Flashing forward to television today, again, working in daytime, the landscape of daytime TV has changed since you first got in daytime. There are a lot less soaps. Are you concerned about the daytime industry, one that you've worked in for so long?
Well, I believe for many years the daytime serial was the back support of the network, because a lot of their nighttime shows failed, but their soaps didn't fail, and they had a regular income from doing daytime shows. Now I think they're looking at saving money, and they'd rather have a game show or a talk show where they don't have to pay writers and actors and have sets and costumes. It's expensive. I just think that there's been such a loyal audience. I don't know what that's going to do. They're trying to get rid of daytime. They are.
Well, I know that Days of Our Lives is still running strong, and things are going great there. And in the meantime, people can also see you in nighttime. You'll be on Cold Case on Sunday, February 21st. On CBS, playing the role of Zelda, Queen of the Knives. We look forward to seeing that. I thank you very much.
Here on the coast, it's on at 8 p.m. I don't know other places. Probably the same time.
Absolutely. I thank you very, very much, Peggy, for taking the time to be on the program with us.
All right. Bye-bye.
Peggy McCay, best known as Caroline Brady on Days of Our Lives. She will be on Cold Case on Sunday, February 21st on CBS, playing Zelda, Queen of the Knives. Check your local listings for the time in your area.
You've just heard an exclusive excerpt from the Stuph File Program with Peter Anthony Holder. To hear any or all of the full hour-long shows, visit thestufffile.com. Stuph is spelled S-T-U-P-H. That's thestufffile.com. A presentation of Flying Fish Communications.